Okay, so good afternoon, team, and I'm hoping that it's a lovely Wednesday for you. It's a payday today. I just had to mention that. But anyway, so looking at my screen, these are the tasks in projects. So some of you might be thinking, I don't have access to projects. Yeah, you don't have any access to projects. There's only a number of people who have access to projects, the core team. However, it's relevant for you to know this because I will be talking about Gantt chart and what is your role. What is the importance of whatever you're doing in Zoho Connect and how it's going to be connected to the Gantt chart. Now, these are the tasks, as I've mentioned earlier. It's pretty confusing if you just take a look at it because all of the tasks are mumble-jumbled here. It's not in like chronological order. That's why there's an importance for you to be able to divide it into milestones, task list, task, and subtask. But I've covered that with the first video. Now, with the classic list, it really depends on what you would be comfortable with or what you want to see. With the classic list, we have, as you can see, phase 4. Phase 4 is the milestone. So you'd be able to see immediately where that task, this is the task, where that task is coming from. So this task is coming from this task list and it goes connected to this phase or this milestone. So task, task list, milestone. Task, task list, milestone. So that's how it works if you will be looking at it in the classic view. Now, if you don't want so much confusion, you just want to see the task, you go ahead and go to plain view. Again, it's all jumbled up together. So if you're going to use this, if you made it, probably it's going to be easy for you to understand where to begin. But if not, you have to start from the very top, which is the milestone, task list, and task, all the way down. Now, for Kanban, what can you see in Kanban? For Kanban, you can see the task as well as the task list, and that's it. So again, it's all together, so it's going to be confusing. Where am I going to start? Okay, because again, as I've mentioned earlier, there is a number of dependency. There's something that you have to do first before you can do the next one. That's why it's important for you to start from the top. Okay, but I've already covered that earlier. So let's take a look at our Gantt chart. So click on Home. So as you can see with Home, you'd be able to see my overview, my task, my global reports, my issues. And there you are, milestone Gantt and project timeline Gantt. Resource utilization, let's park that for later. I have not analyzed that part yet. But if I click on project timeline Gantt, so as you can see, there's yellow and there's green. Now, what does that mean? Like, for example, lead generation, which is where I initially started. If you can see, there's just a little yellow part there. And most of it is green. That's because I have already completed those tasks. It has been closed. And I'll walk you through it later. But as you can see, all of the other tasks are still yellow. That's because that's a reason why I was reiterating earlier that you have to mark it closed or completed if you're already finished with it or if it's not important. So this would look green. EO full transition to Zoho, I still have things to add there. but at the moment I have finished the task there 100%. Now let's go to lead generation. So lead generation, we have milestones. There's not much. I'm kind of trying to play around with this so I would be able to tell you how to use it. So there's milestones, there's task lists. Don't get confused. You just you'd be able to see it here. So there's added LinkedIn groups. It's a completed task, although it's not, but it's a work in progress. And then we have send LinkedIn invites connection. So there's an open task, meaning there's still a task there that's not finished. If you see here, it's all green because it's finished. If you see here, there's one task there that's not yet finished. So let's click on that. And this is the task that's not finished. LinkedIn task for Karen. So the description again is there, documentation and follow-up. Now, if I'm going to go to Task Connect, Zoho Connect, and I go to lead generation, as you can see, LinkedIn task for Karen is already in progress. So if Karen's already finished, oh, I'm finished with this task, says Karen. So she's going to move it. Click and drag it here to complete it. And where is that? Now it got lost in the completed tabs area. And let me see. Okay. So she has dragged it there. And hold on, let's pause that a while. Okay, so the LinkedIn task for Karen, I lost it. So if I want to retrieve it, say accidentally you have placed it on there and it got lost. So go to statistics, click on the upper right corner there, and then you would see the drop down statistics. Click on that and look at completed, and there you go, LinkedIn task for Karen. It's on top. So I'm gonna click on that, and automatically, as you can see, when I dragged it to completed, you don't have to mark it completed anymore. It's already marked completed. That's why it was lost in the chart. So, but if you want to check all of the tasks here, the completed tasks are there. Open tasks are here. There's no open task. Unassigned task, I have no unassigned task in lead generation, as well as overdue task. But you would find it in the task statistics. Now, going back to completed task, it's crucial, very important, that once you begin your task, once you begin doing your task for the day, you have to make sure to put the task on started and then in progress. Okay? Started and in progress. The timer starts immediately when you transfer the task from open to started or in progress. Okay? So once you're finished with the task, if, for example, all of a sudden there's an emergency, I would need to, if, for example, you have allotted 2 hours to do it, but all of a sudden Karen's baby cried. So she had to stop doing the job at 1.5 hours. So she would have to mark the task complete and let the team leader know that, hey, I have only done 1 hour and 30 minutes for this task, but I will be doing it again later. It's a learning progress. I'm working on how to make it easier. But as of the moment, let's be in one page. Now, okay, so I'm going to refresh that. So as you can see, lead generation all clean, and it's been marked off here. But again, if for example I want to check how much time did she spend, you'd be able to see 9 minutes. We were test driving, right? Training for Karen took like an hour or 30 minutes to an hour or lesser. But anyway, for the tracking, since we were test driving it, we only ended up at 9 minutes. But you have to please have that discipline when you start the job. Put the task in on started or in progress. The timer starts to the timer begins, and then when you transfer it, it stops, and then there would be a timer there. So statistics, I can check all of the completed tasks here. For LinkedIn task for Karen, 5 hours. So the timer has been set earlier, and we just let it pass so we can test drive the service. But that's how it goes. Okay. If you put it on review and then put it back in progress, the timer refreshes. So I would suggest that if you're going to be putting it on review, do not put it back on started or put it back. Do not put it back on started or put it back on in progress, because all of the time would be refreshed. Okay, so if, for example, you have already created 5 hours of it and then stop and put it on review, then if you put it back and then spend another 1 hour to it and then put it back on review for your team leader to take a look at it, and then he marks it complete, he would only be seeing it as 1 hour. So that's gonna be inaccurate in our Gantt chart. The reason why we have to set the timer, of course, as I've mentioned, is we need to be able to check how much we are spending on one task, and eventually have it up par with our budget, because there were times in the past that we were able to give prices. The prices would depend on the budget, so we can't properly price or give our clients the right prices if we don't have the right budgets for it. That's why we're doing this. So please have it religiously that you would have to mark it start or in progress and mark it completed once finished. Once you're finished, you need to go back to it. Let your team leader know. Your team leader would duplicate the task, and probably I'll go through that if you can do that too. But as of the moment, this is what we're gonna do. And so it is completed there. I close that. So would it reflect here? No, not yet. It's still open. So there's engage online here, and I would go to, this is connected to Zoho projects, so I would go to lead generation. From lead generation, I would see LinkedIn task for Karen there, and this is where I mark it complete. Now once it's completed here, close it and go back to this. So if I'm going to refresh that, and this computer is quite slow. So if I'm going to refresh that, voila, it's already closed. So when you mark complete in Zoho Zoho projects, it gets completed here. That's how it works.